Good day. Welcome to my AgriConnect presentation. Here I will be taking you through my code, and later I will show you my database as well as my actual project when it's running and how it all works together. So first let me take you through the program page. So first obviously I needed to have MVC support, right? And then I needed to configure a session with the timeout. So when the user basically logs in, I hold the role and the email in a session. And I also set the entity framework core to use SQLite. So I am using a SQL local DB, and I called it agriusers.db. Right. Then this is just a little bit of the session management and my authorization. And yeah, this is where I import the database seeder. I will take you through that as well coming up. Next, let me take you to my authentication controller. So this handles the creation and my logins. So as well as the registration, but I left that out of the nav bar. I thought it would be better if a farmer can only log in, and then the employee can create a farmer and the employee can create an employee as well. So what I did was, in my seeder I populated already an employee. Actually I think it was 2 employees and 2 farmers. And what I did was I also gave them actual products. Now back to the authentication controller. So this is where I inject the database, and this is where we load the registration form. So here I implemented a check to see if the email exists. Also we hashed a password. Let me show you that. So yeah, this is a little hashing algorithm, and I just needed a static helper class for the password hashing. So if the email exists, the user will be added and the role is also saved to the database. So then it comes to the login part of the controller. So this is where we first see if the email and the hash password exist. So this is actually stemming from my login view model. Here you can see it. So the user's email address is required and the user's password is required. So yeah, like I was saying earlier, I store the email and the role in the session. Reason being is I need the role for after the login to decide whether the user will be directed to the farmer dashboard or the employee dashboard. So I actually have an if statement. So my dashboard is situated in the shared folder. It is called dashboard, and I basically made it like so it will see if it is a farmer. If it's not a farmer, it assumes that it is an employee. So I will take you through those controllers as well. Let's just go back to the authentication controller. So we have an error message for this is if the credentials are wrong. And then I also have an error message to select, for example, if there were no details inputted, and then obviously a logout. So as I took you to my dashboard page now after the login, you already seen how uh, the user will see the view. So first you will see that an employee can add a new farmer, right? And an employee can also add a new employee. But a farmer can only add a product. So this makes the employee the admin. So assuming that the user is a farmer and selects a new product, they will be directed to the page where they can add a new product. This is where they'll be able to enter details like the name of the product, the production date. They can also enter the category. And then because I store the user's email address, this is obviously how we look for uh, the farmer's name based on the email address and the role. And if the farmer is not found, of course, they will not even be entered onto the page. But I also added an error just as a precaution. And yeah, they also will not be directed to the page, or they will be directed to the login if they don't have access to this page. I will demonstrate it later, of course, by copying and pasting the URL. Then user will obviously go back to the dashboard where they will be displayed with the products that only they have created. This obviously uses the products view model. As you can see, the name, the category, the production date, and the farmer name is what will be viewed. And then obviously in the farmer controller, I inject database and also my checks to make sure that only a farmer or an employee sees their specific stuff. And then this is now assuming that an employee either selects well, let's just start off with creating a new farmer. So they click the button to create a new farmer. This is where they check if the user is an employee. If it is, obviously it will be redirected. And then on creating, they won't be able to create it if they are not an employee. And this is a check just to make sure that the email doesn't exist in the database. And this is where obviously we set the role of the farmer. And yeah, that's where we edit, and then obviously it's added to the database. And then yeah, the employee is just also the same thing, where we ensure that the role is an employee. And obviously to create it, they need to be an employee as well, so the form won't go through if it isn't an employee. That's just an extra check I put in. And this is a check to see if the email event already exists. This is for the employee. The previous one we done was for the farmer. And obviously the role will be saved to the database. So I just realized I didn't take you through my AppDB context. Obviously we have the users table and we have the products table. I will populate that now for you. And I have taken you through my seeder and my model. So if you're going to take a look at my product model, This is obviously for the ID, it's a primary key, and we're storing the name of the product, the category of the product, also the date, the production date, and the farmer ID, which needs to be hidden in the view, of course. And then the user as well, we have the email, we have the password, we have the name, we have the surname, and we have the role. These are all required fields when registering. And now if I can just take you through my views, this is my login view. As you can see, this is where you put in the email. Here we put in the password. And then the register view, which is obviously taken out of my navbar for now. Here we put in the name, we put in the surname, put in the email, the password, all those required fields from the user model. And obviously I had the option to select either a farmer or an employee. That was just mostly for testing purposes. And then obviously we have the home index. Nothing too special about it. I had to just do that mostly for demonstration purposes, because I was focusing mostly on the features of the farmers and the employees. And the product view, as you can see, you put in the name, the category, and the production date, and obviously the farmer ID is captured based on the role, what the email. And then we have my dashboard. So yeah, I just added a little bit of filter products. As you can see, this is the functions. So I have a search box, I have the category filter, I have the production date. And now let me run my database for you and run my application, and I will show you how that all works together. If you take a look at my Cedar, you'll see the users that are being created. So let me just delete my database real quickly. So I can properly demonstrate how it's going to work. Right, and the way I have it configured actually is that on run, the database is created and is populated with the Cedar's data. So let's just, for demonstrational purposes, SQLite 3 agriusers.db. And if we just put .tables, you'll see there will not be any tables. And now let me just stop the project that was running and just put .NET run. As you can see, the project runs, the tables were created. Let me just show you. Tables, and there we go. You can see that the tables have been created, and let's just try the users so we can log in, and there you have it. So I'm just going to go ahead and log in as a farmer for starters. Give that a quick refresh. And let's log in. So this email address is zahra@agri. And obviously the password has been hashed. So let me just go see what I have in the seeder. And in the seeder, we're dealing with farmer 1, 2, 3. So for now, let me show you if the password is wrong. You will not be allowed in. Farmer 1, 2, 3. And as you can see, we are in, and there is currently nothing populated under Zahra's name. And if we just add a product, let's just pick chickens, and a category, we'll just place it as chicken. And let's put a production date of the 3rd of May. And we will add the product, and we are immediately redirected to the dashboard. And I don't know if you remember, but this is a shared dashboard. So this is viewing the role of the user as well as the email address, which is matching with the DB and is populating the actual product. And so let me demonstrate to you. Actually, I didn't show you the seeder for Safia and Kamia. That is the other user that was created, Safia@agri and farmer 1, 2, 3. Well, this is embarrassing. 2, 3. And we are in. So, as you can see, she already has organic tomatoes, sweet corn, and cow. Now, let's just add a product. Let's just put cow, cattle, and let's put the production date of the 2nd. And there you have it. So this is what the farmers see. Now I will demonstrate to you what the employee will see. And I think I've set the password for this one as Hamza. And there you have it. All the products appear, and from here we can now add a farmer. So let's just name this one test 9, testing farmer 9. Let's put farmer 9 at icloud.com and a password of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we created the farmer. Let's log out, and just to show you, farmer9@icloud.com was created. And the password is 12345. I don't think I demonstrated the hasher. So as you can see, the password was hashed. And we are in, and there is no products. And I already demonstrated what would happen if a product is added. So let's just switch back to the employee view. So here we can also add an employee. So let's go ahead. As you can see, the employees we have is Hamza and Zubair. That is 2 employees. So let's go ahead and create an employee test 10, and we have test employee test at icloud.com 1 2 3 4 5, and we'll go ahead and add that employee. Let's go ahead and log out, and just to demonstrate one more time that the data is populating correctly, there we go. Employee test at icloud.com is there. We have a password of 1 2 3 4 5, and there you go. The employee can view everything. And let's just go ahead and show you my filters. So you can either search for the product, or you can search for the category, vegetables, or my favorite is the filter. So that was clearly the wrong date. There we go, the 2nd, and there's something on the 3rd. So this is my AgriConnect platform. I hope you enjoyed this demonstration.